All right, I'm going to call the Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education regular meeting to order. Roll call, Ms. Boyer.
Ms. Cato? Here. Mr. Hookrum? Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Shook?
Here.
Dr. Waters?
Here. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 4 is usually the public participation. We're still suspending that temporarily through June 30th, 2021. Is there anybody to address the board?
No one has.
Okay. Number 5, department presentation. Director of Student Services, Sarah Hayes.
No, I'm okay.
Thank you for letting me hop in today. I won't take very long. I know you know I like to talk. I can do lots of papers, but I promise I'll be brief. I wanted to update you on what we've been doing in the cohort for gifted education. As you know, we've got 15 or 16 of us in the program, and we will be licensed gifted intervention specialists when we finish. The grades were submitted just last week, so keep your fingers crossed. I think we are. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I've been told there are 2 or 3 that are going to go on and get a master's in gifted education. So that's really great that we can sustain that. This is just a draft. I should have put draft on the front page. I apologize. But again, I wanted to share what we've been up to now that most of us have completed that endorsement program. What was really neat about working together in a group with my colleagues was that we really had the opportunity to look at what Liberty Union currently has and how we want to grow it. And with the internship this spring, rather than be the traditional stand in front of a class and teach for 20 hours and get a grade, the professor let us sort of do what we wanted that was going to be best for the kids at Liberty Union. So what we did, we split up into 5 committees, and you can see they're here. Curriculum committee, communication, assessment and student identification, the service model or program, and then professional development. There were about 3 of us to each committee, and we worked together over the internship program to basically develop this plan for you. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'll just briefly discuss what each committee put together. For the communication committee, they looked at long-term plans, how to make sure what we're doing in the community, or excuse me, what we're doing in the school is being communicated to the community. Come to find out that we talk education lingo all day, every day, and maybe some people didn't understand what we were saying. So we wanted to make sure that the process on how students get identified gifted was clear and communicated. If your student was identified as gifted, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to your students? And then we write education plans. What is that? What does it look like? And then what courses can my student take? Some of the recommendations, we were going to update the website. We were going to make it easier to find and locate. We were going to add more communication to that website. Maybe conduct some gifted parent nights, like at a PTO meeting. We were going to make sure that when we screened or assessed students that it was communicated clearly. And then if you think that your student may be gifted, how do you refer them? The Assessment Identification Committee, their long-term plan was to look at the current assessments and screeners that we use. Are they the best for our kids? How could we make improvements in that area? So they've recommended, again, looking at different assessments, making sure it's communicated to the community, making sure that teachers who work with gifted students know how that process works, working with elective teachers like your band and your art, and making sure that students who are not traditionally in your academic areas, that if they're gifted, making sure that they get identified. And then again, more professional development, making sure our students get those written education plans to help them. The Professional Development Committee, we talked about basically professional development. I know, sounds kind of boring, but this is where we got a lot of really neat information. We had really, I apologize that you can't click on the links on your paper, but when you click on the links, you'll see actual pieces that the committee's put together for presentation and for sharing. So for example, if you click on this one, it talks about how we can create opportunities for teachers, principals, to really stretch the needs of our gifted students, making sure that we have those resources and those programming models to keep our kids engaged and growing. The curriculum committee, they want to look at additional course offerings. So right now we offer just a few things at each building, but they really wanted to build that solid continuum of gifted services from the elementary all the way through the high school. We want to make sure our kids have the opportunity to really grow. And then just talking with Jennifer a few minutes ago, I added a few more things because they're all interrelated. They're all connected. So if we have a student who's identified gifted, we can make sure that they can apply for the honors diploma, or they can take additional CCP classes. And then that translates into, getting more points on our report card and making sure our kids are graduating with high honors. The service model, again, I wish you had that live link because they put together I don't want to call it a dummy website, but it's not really live yet. But it's a website on how our kids could get involved in the community. And it's really interesting. So the service model, they talked about how to get our kids involved in extracurricular and co-curricular activities. And again, that can be a graduation seal, helping our kids graduate high school. And then putting together maybe a mentor or monitoring program so our kids can give back to our community. And then part F was mostly my input because I don't want to do this alone. I like working together with a team. So I'd like to put together a gifted advisory committee with some of our gifted intervention specialists, some people from the community, some teachers, and then make sure that everything that we've put together in this plan can come to fruition. To make sure that we regularly review the goals and the purpose of this gifted program and make sure that we advocate for children. So that was it in a nutshell. I've also added some key definitions because, again, I talk this all day, every day, and sometimes I forget that not everybody lives in this world. So in case you wanted to know what we currently offer, what is a written education plan? What does it look like to differentiate in the classroom? And then we talk a lot about that social emotional learning. And then on the last page, I have to include my resources. And then most importantly, the acknowledgements. Here are all the staff members that have joined me in this journey. And I think I can probably speak for them that we're pretty happy that we made it through together and hope that all the hard work they've put in can really benefit the kids at Liberty Union. A lot of information in 5 or 6 minutes. Did you have any questions for me?
Anybody?
Thank you for your hard work. No, thank you for supporting us. We couldn't have done it without you. It's really important work.
Nice work. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right. Number 6, discussion and approval of the minutes.
Okay, I have 2 things on page 4. They were just little updates and little tweaks that there were some mistakes on the agenda last month. So number 4, B4, the service provider Sedgwick, it's updated to say workers' comp and unemployment. I think it had said META or something like that before. And number 6, for Meta Solutions, we increased the dollar amount by a small amount, and because we changed the actual package we're getting for IEP Anywhere, we are now getting the plus. It was, what was it, like $1,000? So it was a very small amount in comparison to what it'll give. Those are the only changes.
So this is the correct amount, the 9520 is.
Yes, that's the correct amount.
That takes us to page 12. Is there any other? All right, I have a motion.
So moved.
Second. Ms. Cato, Mr. Moore, to approve minutes of the regular meeting of the Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education held on April 12, 2021 as printed. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato? Yes. Mr. Hookrattle? Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Wood?
Yes.
All right, number 7, monthly financial statements. Ms. Boyer?
Okay, first you have our monthly reconciliation. And then the monthly report. So, let's see. Page 4. The fiscal year monthly revenue analysis. Our total revenues are higher than this time last year, and we did receive our fourth quarter income tax. Overall, the income tax was up over last year by $23,802.23. I know we had thought that it might drop, and it didn't, so that was a good thing. So we're up compared to last year at the same time, $121,666. On page 5, this is our, let's see here, what we forecasted compared to what actually is happening. And mainly the increase is due to the income tax and then also the governor giving us back the funding that he had cut. So we had budgeted for the income tax being lower and also for the cuts, and then he gave back the money. Page 6, our expenditures for this year are just about what they were during the same time last year. Only a difference of almost $9,000. Page 7. So our expenditures overall compared to what we forecasted are down pretty much. And it's partly due to the ESSERS and CARES grants that we received, and also due to COVID and a lot of the expenditures that we would normally have, we kind of held back on because we didn't know what was going on. And we didn't have to purchase a lot of the paper and that type of thing that we normally do. We did, so I brought up the grants. We received our Rural and Small Town grant, which was $63,620. We received a connectivity grant, which was $29,081, and our ESSER 1 grant, which was $184,726. So that helped with our expenditures. Page 8 is the interest that we've earned. And then page 9 is where we are within the year and our spending and revenue. Our revenue, we've collected about everything that we will be. I mean, there's little bits here and there. And our spending is right about where we should be at 83%. Next are our checks, bills we paid. And on page 1, 96294 to Ashland University for $24,480. That was our last payment for the gifted cohort. Sarah was just talking about that. They finished up. That came from the general fund. And then 96317 KTLB for $18,550. They're doing business as Prime Tours. So that's the balance for the Pennsylvania trip, and that came from the Washington, D.C. trip money. And then on page 3, 96417 Howard's Plumbing for $20,000. That's for plumbing for the new athletic building, and that came from the building fund. And then next we have the appropriations for the 018, 200, 300, and the donations. The donations, those are miscellaneous donations for the high school musical, and those are from those who opted to donate their refund for the spring 2020 show that didn't end up happening. And so that totaled $8,147.56. And that's what I have.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Walter, Mr. Moore,
to approve monthly financial statements printed above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
All right, new business financial appropriations. The treasurer, April Boyer, recommends the following appropriation changes for the fiscal year 2021. B, service provider, superintendent recommends approval of the following. Service provider SYS Cloud, 2021-2022 school year, Google backup and security for a fee of $3,000. Service provider National Honor Society, July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Membership for $385. Service provider Diligent through Ohio School Board Association, May 11th, 2021 through May 10th, 2022. Annual membership board docs, $2,700 the cost. C is 5-year forecast. School districts in Ohio are required to prepare and maintain up-to-date financial forecasts. Approval for the 5-year forecast as presented to the Board of Education is requested. The complete financial forecast is available in the office of the district treasurer, April Boyer. Any questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Cato, Mr. Moore, to approve new business financial. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
All right. All right, number 9. New business personnel. Superintendent recommends approval to hire the following personnel. Noah Barker, Systems Administrator, Step 0, effective May 11th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moore and Cato to approve new business financial. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Waters?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
We also have a 9.5 if you didn't
I
see
see
on
that.
there.
Okay. 9.5, negotiated contract agreement between the Liberty Union-Thurston Teacher Association for a 3-year contract effective July 1st, 2021 through June 2024 has been reached. Board of Education requests approval of the contract as outlined in the agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Walter and Cato to approve negotiated contract between the Liberty Union-Thurston Education Association and Liberty Union Board of Education. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Waters?
Yes.
All right. 10A, certified substitute list. Request approval of the May 2021 certified substitute list from the Fairfield County Educational Service Center. B, classified substitute. The superintendent requests approval of the May 2021 classified substitute list with the addition of the following names: Stacy Hutchinson, 105 North Mill Street, Baltimore, Ohio, for bus driver and bus aide. Extended learning programs. Mr. Tim Harris, elementary principal, and Mr. Tim Turner, middle school principal, and Superintendent Mike Johnson request to recommend the following personnel to be hired for the extended learning programs. The workday will be 7:30 to noon each day beginning June 1st through June 18th for a total of 63 hours per person. Therefore, I'm requesting that the following teachers be recommended for approval to teach summer school. The teachers will be compensated at $25 per hour. No more than 4 hours per day will be reserved for instruction, and 30 minutes per day will be reserved for planning. The teacher will be required to complete a timesheet with a signed off by the principal. The teachers are hired to address and remediate students performing below average and with identified deficiencies and achievement caused by interruptions in the face-to-face instruction during the 2020-2021 school year due to COVID. There's a whole list of the teachers and what positions. I'm not going to read them. See them. D, step correction. Kim Dorson was hired May 8, 2021 in food service for 4 hours per day at step 0. After confirmation of her experience, superintendent is recommending her to be placed at step 2 effective March 22nd. E, 2021 summer help. The following personnel is recommended by the superintendent for 2021 summer help at minimum wage currently at $8.80. Jacob Burlenkamp, Brock Newman, Joshua Rhodes. F, salary notices. The following employees are recommended for salary notices as printed. This is a whole list of all of our teachers with continuing. Then you have the list of 2-year certified contracts.
Okay, well, with the 2-year certified, Jessica Birch, she's just one down.
Yep.
That's changed to continuing contracts, so she will actually go in I.
Okay. H, 1-year certified contracts. The following employees are recommended for a 1-year contract, and a list of those. I, continuing contracts. The following employees recommended for a continuing contract. Keith Robinson. J is administrative directors and supervisor salary notices and contracts. The following administrators are recommended by the superintendent as follows. The whole list of all the administrators. And then K, the superintendent recommends approval of the contract salary notice for the following personnel. And that's Noah Barker, systems administrator, Angie Landis, payroll, Linda Young, EMIS, and Brittany Zook, assistant treasurer. Any questions on that? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Moore, Ms. Cato, to approve business personnel items. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle,
Because of when I came in, I'm gonna abstain.
and Mr. Moore.
Yes.
All right, number 11, new business personnel, contracts and salary notices. The following employees are recommended for a contract and/or salary notice as printed. Jill Shook, Masters plus 30, step 25. Madison Shook, Masters, step 3. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Hookrattle and Moore to approve new business personnel. Ms. Boyer?
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Abstain. Number 12, new business personnel, salary notice. The following employees recommended for a salary notice as printed. Katie Hookrattle, Master plus 30, step 20. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moore and Walter to approve new business personnel items as stated above. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle,
Abstain.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
And number 13, new business personnel. The following employee is recommended for a contract as printed. Teacher Alyssa Moore, bachelor's degree, step 2. Motion to approve?
So moved.
So Ms. Cato,
Somebody not named Moore is seconding it, I can tell you that.
Mr. Walter, to approve new business personnel as stated above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Abstain.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato.
Yes.
All right, number 14, new business other. The following policies were presented for review at the April 12th board meeting and presented for approval at this time. This is the stuff that we had last week. I'm sure you all had plenty of time to look over it. Is there any questions?
The
Any
cleaning,
comments?
just a question on, what was this? Sorry, I'm trying to go back to find. This is the technology department thing, this cleaning fee of $35. Is this new, and what's involved in a cleaning fee? Dirk?
Yeah. So we're just adding a cleaning fee as a deterrent to people turning their Chromebooks in completely filthy.
Okay.
We've had some come in with glue on them, pop, milk, anything you can imagine since they've been home. So it's not if it's dusty, we're not not charging.
Okay.
You're not really filthy.
Yeah, like we got to clean it, we might have to even replace it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
okay,
yeah, it's not for like dusting, it's really filthy.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? That brings us to page 31. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hooperano, Ms. Cato, to approve business other. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walters?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hooperano?
Yes.
Number 15, new business. The following policy is presented for review at this time and will be presented for approval at the June 14th board meeting. Purchasing procedures. Any input?
This was left off the last time, the purchasing cutoff date.
Okay.
And actually, it used to be April 10th, and apparently most schools are in April, but we've always kind of let people purchase past that date, so to me, there's no sense in having a date if you don't stick to it. So I changed it to May 10th. And unless that's a problem going forward, that's my plan to stick to that.
And the problem would be on your end, right? I mean, you would
Right,
be stuck
yeah.
with things at the last minute.
Yes,
Okay.
if we don't have enough time, but usually that's about the time I would always, ever since I've been here, said, okay, we can't do any more, we'll get it done.
And like I said, that's not to say you couldn't if you actually
Oh,
absolutely
yeah,
needed
for
something.
emergencies and that type of thing, yeah.
All right, number 16, executive session. Executive session is requested by the superintendent for
A2,
employment.
A2, A7, and E.
A lot to talk about.
Before we go into executive session, can we just remind the public graduation, the date of graduation, and
Oh, we're changing graduation time to 11 o'clock on Sunday, the 20th.
Third.
So, I know some people are concerned because that conflicts with church, but what we want to do, because we're going to be outside, is try to beat the afternoon weather that typically forms in Ohio that time of year. So, 11 o'clock, it's noon.
What would that weather be? Snow?
I know, that's who could say. Usually thunderstorms, but who knows this year.
All right.
Sure.
Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
so moved.
Second.
Cato and Hooperano to go into executive session at
7:30.
7:32. Does that work for us? Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hooperano?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walters?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
All right. We're in executive session.